Welcome to Lanas y Ovillos. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this vest made with a lace stitch. We need one ball of this yarn, 150 grams, the recommended needle is 3 mm, a needle, a 4 mm crochet hook and scissors. We start making the back part. We start from the bottom part. We have to make a chain of 46 centimeters. We have to make a chain of 46 centimeters. This is like a large size. Then continue making the stitches that I will show you, and then make some rows with decreases on each side to make the armholes. Once we finish the back part, we have to make two front parts. We have to make a chain of 27 centimeters and repeat the same that we made with the back, but now with the front part. Then we only have to sew the sides of the front and the back part and the shoulders. So let's start with the back part, making a chain of 46 centimeters. In this case, I'm going to show you how to make the stitches with a small sample, but you have to make the size that you prefer. In my case, 46 centimeters. You have to make a slip knot and a chain of 46 centimeters. Once you have the chain of 46 centimeters, you have to chain 4 and make 1 treble crochet on each chain. 1 treble crochet on each chain. Make 1 treble crochet to the end of the chain. Row number 2, we have to chain 4, turn and make again 1 treble crochet on each stitch. We have to repeat 1 treble crochet on each stitch to the end of the row. Row number 3. We have to chain 1, turn, and now we have to make 1 row with loops. We have to make a slip stitch with the first stitch, but taking only the back loops. Taking only the back loop, we have to make a slip stitch and pull up the yarn. This will be the length of the loop. Then you have to secure with the finger the yarn on the hook, and we are going to make the next loop. We have to take the back loop of the next stitch, make a slip stitch, and pull up the yarn again to arrive at the length of the first loop. This is what we have to repeat in all the loops. Make a slip stitch in the next stitch taking the back loop, pull up the yarn with the same size of the previous loops, and repeat the same in all the stitches. Once you have too much loops on the hook, you have to remove the hook and take the 3 last loops to keep the same length, and continue making the stitches and continue making the loops as we made before, and repeat the loops to the end of the row. 1 loop on each stitch. Once we finished all the loops, we have to remove the hook and chain 1 on the last loop, turn, and we have to make 1 single crochet on each loop. 1 single crochet taking 1 loop, and repeat the same to the end of the row. 1 single crochet on each loop. We have to repeat now again 1 row with loops. We have to chain 1, turn, make a slip stitch in the first stitch taking the back loop, pull up the yarn, we made 1 loop, and we have to continue making 1 loop on each stitch, remember taking the back loops of the previous row to have a loop on each stitch. And once we made all the row with loops, we have to repeat the same. We have to chain 1, turn, and make 1 single crochet on each loop. 1 single crochet on each loop. Once we make the row with single crochet, we have to chain 4, turn, and we have to repeat now the 2 rows with a treble crochet. So 1 treble crochet on each stitch, 1 treble crochet on each stitch to the end of the row. One treble crochet again on each stitch, 1 treble crochet on each stitch, and once we finish the 2 rows with the treble crochet, we have to repeat again 1 row with loops. We make the loops as we made on the previous rows. Now we have to make a row with single crochet, but in this case we are going to cross the loops. We have to take the second loop instead of the first, and then make the single crochet and take the first loop, the previous loop, making like a crossing. Repeat the same. We skip 1 loop and make 1 single crochet on the next loop and 1 single crochet on the previous loop. Make again 1 crossing. We have to make the single crochet crossing the loops to the end of the row. We repeat the row of the loops and the row with the single crochet crossing the loops again, and this is the pattern that we have to repeat: the 2 rows with the treble crochet, the 2 parts with the loops, with the loop and the single crochet, then again the 2 rows with the treble crochet, and again the rows with the loops crossed. This is the pattern that we have to repeat to have 44 centimeters. 44 centimeters. Once we have 44 centimeters, in my case I have a row with treble crochet, we have to make 1 decrease at the beginning of the row and 1 decrease at the end of the row. To make a decrease, we have to make the treble crochet. We don't finish the first treble crochet, make the second treble crochet, we don't finish the second treble crochet, and we finish both stitches together, making a decrease. Continue making 1 treble crochet on each stitch to have 2 stitches. Once we have only 2 stitches, we have to make again 1 decrease of treble crochet. We have to make now a row with loops, and to make the decreases with the loops we have to skip the first stitch and make the loop on the second stitch. Continue making the loops to 2 stitches before the end, and once we are 2 stitches before the end, we have to make the last loop skipping 1 stitch. We have to skip 1 stitch and make the last loop. This is how we have to make the decreases to have 68 centimeters. To make the fronts, we have to make a chain of 27 centimeters, make the same stitches that we made in the back to have 44 centimeters, and make also decreases on each row to have 68 centimeters. Once we have the 3 parts, we have to sew the front parts with the back part. In my case, I will join the 2 parts with a crochet hook, making slip stitches, but if you prefer, you can use a needle. I start from the armhole, place the yarn, and continue making slip stitches to the end. I make 3 slip stitches on the loop, 1 slip stitch on the loop on the row of single crochet, and 3 slip stitches on the row of treble crochet. We have to repeat the same to sew all the sides. Once we join one side, we have to repeat the same with the other side. Pay attention to make the slip stitch on the same side that we made on the other front, to keep the slip stitch on the inside part of the vest. Once we join the 3 parts, we have to join also the shoulders, using also a crochet hook, or if you prefer, you can use a needle.